I'm here with cinematographer, director, and songwriter Jestina Weems. Jestina, the last time I talked to you was like way at the beginning of the year. You were working on a new project that is supposed to kick off at the end of this year, but we're not even here for that this time. So, just to do a little recap, tell people who you are and what we're doing here tonight.
Wow, what else can I say? I picked up a couple more hats since the last time we spoke. I'm currently working on my documentary miniseries, just trying to make it. And that's why we are here today to talk about that. We are currently in the process of filming, literally in the middle of doing that. Just came back from California, about to book a couple more flights across and in the middle of the country. We're working on a single, literally just came back from the studio. Oh my God, today was crazy, but the music sounds so good. So it's all worth the hurdles that I'm jumping over. We are getting ready, speaking of hurdles, for me to, get out there and share my story, do some TED Talks, a whole bunch of good stuff. I don't know, God literally just like flood open the gates and we are just on that canoe, just enjoying the ride. So it's a blessing for sure.
For sure. So, and you said something amazing. Enjoy the ride. So, as far as the ride goes, you are a native of New Hampshire. And this is taking
that part. That's right. The 603 people. We're going to put it on the map.
We're going to put it on the map, okay?
I'm sorry, y'all. I know I do some funny camera work, but I don't know what my phone's doing in my face. But anyway, yes, the 603, because it sounds so much cooler than New Hampshire. But yes, my lovely melanated skin is from New Hampshire. And that's another project we are working on, throwing out there, the 603, so that I can highlight some of the other amazing talent, Black talent in the 603, not only Black talent, but I'm just saying I came out of the 603 and there's a lot more of us there. So yes, New Hampshire, shout out to the 603.
Okay. So who were your influences that helped you to tap into your Black girl magic from New Hampshire?
Ooh, my Black. Okay, so definitely shout out to my sister Rima, because straight up, her and her family are from New York. So when they first met me, I grew up, like I moved to New Hampshire when I was like real little. Like after my dad was killed in, Massachusetts, we got up out of there. So anyway, I grew up in New Hampshire. That's where I'm from. So I didn't really have much swag. I didn't grow up with people that had swagger. They weren't really watching, like they were watching BET, but they really weren't swaggering it right, stuff like that. So I didn't have no one to show me how to do it. That there was no Black people. Like I was the only Black girl in the schools for a while until I was like 15, 16. So like picture that too. So white people in the country ain't really giving all what y'all are seeing now. Just let's put it that way. Before Jess, Jestina wasn't swagging. So yeah. Then I met my sister and her family who are from New York, and they, they're like, girl, hair, let's do it. Yeah, they had to do it. Don't be scared to beat the face. Don't be scared to beat the face. And at the time too, growing up, because I played basketball in the sports, I was a bigger girl. I was holding 200, but they showed me how to hold 200 and feel sexy and do all that. So that's really, first how I started feeling me sexual. But if I have to tell the real secret of like where I first like identified me sexual, all right, back to the white people. So anyway, the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. All right, y'all, I got kids because, just trying to make it. I got to juggle a lot. The movie Fried Green Tomatoes, real top. So y'all know where they're like, got to show the picture of the vulva. I'll be appropriate. And then she starts getting sexy after that class. Like that opened my eyes to women have to be comfortable with their body and looking at their body and just loving themselves. So for me, that was a huge, feminine moment that was truly important, especially back then and even now. So I'll end it on that note as far as that question.
Okay. That's a bomb note. So, and then speaking of which, you've always, like you just elaborated, you've always been vocal as it applies to police brutality, and you've been a brawny voice for women empowerment. Can you tell viewers what led you on those two paths?
So, of course, as I walk through my house, welcome to my crib. So, like I mentioned earlier, and of course, you never know how the world or your life is going to impact you later. But I did lose my father to police brutality in '93, Gary Jerome Weems. At the time, I was only 7 going on 8. So there was really nothing that I could do for him at the time. And again, let's go back to when it happened. '93. There was no camera phones, catching police doing what's happening now and still happening. So when my mother was talking about it and we found out the truth about it, nobody was believing her. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, what's society tell you? The police protect you, blah, blah, blah. Police don't kill people. That's not their job. So even growing up, I was kind of conflicted. Y'all met my mother. We can be elaborate, but this is just who we are. So, but once, and we'll get into this story after, once I got out of jail and kind of I was looking up my own case to write my own book and my own experience, and pulling up my name, I found my father's case from when his sister was trying to sue the state, which you can't do. And I just learned more, and I started asking more questions, and I learned the truth. And it was just so messy and sloppy, even to today, because it's like they're losing paperwork. We can't get cases. People won't answer us on certain things. We have anthropologists that we can't get clearly just because they don't want to testify in court. So it's, people are scared to go up against the system. So that's another challenge. And then you reach out to the NANs, the NAACP, and the biggest struggle that you have, that if you don't already have that fire started and burn it, then these people are not jumping on board. These people are not fire starters. Well, baby, I am. I'm here to start some fires. Let's go. So, it's easier. And for them, if the spots are already on like a George Floyd and people who already had the media, it's easy for them to come in and be the peacemakers. And we don't need no more peacemakers. You feel me? Because we see what the peacemakers are doing. They're putting out the fires. Right. And it's not time for the fires to be put out, because we need to burn the whole system down to rebuild what we already know is broken. You feel me? So I guess that's a good note to say. That's what started me on this trailblazing activist kind of go hard for my people, because it's for my father. And it won't even, when I get justice for my father, I'll still have to be fighting for justice for other people. So I can't even say when I get justice for my father, my fight will be done. No, there's too many people like my father and other, not just dead, but let's say locked up in prison, or how the school systems is letting our children down. There's so many elements where we have to begin at, that my fight won't be over, and I'll only have to be able to pass it on to my kids and teach them enough where they're able to pass it on to their kids, because it's going to take generation after generation before it's fixed, because I don't know if it will ever get better unless it gets burned down and rebuilt.
Okay. A mouthful. And then the women empowerment piece.
Yeah, so it kind of, the best things are organic, happen organically. So again, I guess after having kids, right, and your body, or just getting older, your body goes through changes, and you just, again, I like to learn about myself, self-development and things like that. So it's okay, you have to learn to love your body as it goes through things. I breastfed my kids for 3 years, both of them. So y'all could imagine the asymmetrical stuff that was going on. So it's just how do I tap back into loving myself? How, when you breastfeed, use more lube. Let's just say that. But then when we don't understand these things, or why our body's changing, or don't self-educate, we start self-doubting and we stop loving ourselves. So the biggest thing for me is I want to love myself more, and call me, I don't know, where pray, people are built up when people are like, oh, you're so pretty, blah 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 blah. But it really wasn't even about, oh, you're so pretty. Yes, you can take a bath, give me 2 minutes. What I noticed, because I started posting my pictures on Facebook, this is my body, this is my body, this is my body. Now a lot of people, they think, okay, the praise she wants is from dudes. Baby, the best compliments that happen, and it happened today, is when the older women, and I mean 60, 70, I'll tell you on God's honest truth, 71-year-old lady today was sending me her me-sexual photos, baby.
Okay.
Because, yes, my grandmother, 90-something, will whip out her titties and be like, aren't they? Yes, Nana, the best titties ever. And you know what I'm saying? I'm getting other women, older women, to be in love with themselves and love the compliment and other things that come from other women. You feel me? It's
Right.
not about the compliment we're getting from other men. It's, you know, it's just being comfortable where we are at with ourselves. And being comfortable also, it goes vice versa, because we also have to retrain our mind to giving women other compliments.
That's right. You're right. Now, before I jump to your newest project, I want to talk about, you said something about your post on social media and so forth. And I knew this when I interviewed you a few months ago. Are you a nudist?
Am I? Oh, yeah. So if I could be a nudist, right, I definitely would be. We used to actually live behind a nudist colony. Now, not saying y'all, see, I'm doing mother stuff, so y'all getting it all right now. So I was always inspired probably by the people nearby. So I'm not a nudist because my husband, he's not so much free like I am. But, you know, he does respect and support the artistic feel that I put on those that are comfortable in their bodies and in their skins. And I just hope, like I said, more of these older women and all women can just be like, yes, this is who I am. I love my vulva. I love me first. And I know how to love me first. I think that's also another important, like knowing how to love yourself from the inside out. Because like I said, I should say, you don't need a mingle to tingle, baby.
Okay, okay. You don't need to mingle to tingle. I love it. All right. So speaking of body positivity, self-love, woman in business, confidentiality, beautiful, and me sexual, how does these things tie into your new reality show, Just Trying to Make It? Not just trying to make it.
Yes, that's me. So of course, how do I do all of the things that I do is often a question that I am asked, especially as someone that literally homeschools, gets managed by a 4-year-old toddler. As y'all can see, I'm literally about to put him in the tub so he can take a bath in the middle of this interview because he is boss baby. So, you know, with the question that has been asked over the years from people that I somehow inspire, you know, how do you do it all? You know, came the idea to let's just do a doc series. And in my mind, I'm like, we're just gonna do little 10-minute interviews or episodes, put it out there on YouTube. Every day it grows bigger and bigger. But, you know, we have some amazing people, because what I wanted to show is, you know, how I was able, you know, somebody who's been to prison, someone who's struggled with my education, with reading and writing, but yet that's how I'm making my money, and my journey is all about reading and writing, books, music, all that. But how I didn't let any of those things or these labels define who I am or who I was gonna become, or stepping into my purpose or living out my dream. Like, I'm a storyteller, and right now, through my music, through this documentary, I'm able to tell my story. I'm able to tell the story about my dad. I'm able to tell what I learned from prison. I'm able to just show people as an entrepreneur, especially as a Black woman, that you can do it. You were born with everything you need to succeed in your life. You just have to believe in yourself when nobody else will, or when hurdles come up and you have to do it, because baby, we hit a big hurdle this week. And I feel like that's also God in a way, you know, making you chew up and swallow your own words and stepping into the next part of our purpose. Because, you know, unexpected things happen. And baby, this week I had to jump over some big hurdles, but we're doing it, we're jumping. And I say that because our past hurdles only make us stronger for the next hurdles ahead of us. So the only way I can help people, or I know that God wants to use me as a vessel, is by sharing my testimony. And right now, we live in a day and age where I can share that testimony, you know, with the world in so many ways. So that's what Just Trying to Make It is all about, because I feel like we all reach our objectives, right? We have goals. Mm-hmm. But then we always have a next goal. So we're always just trying to do something else, right? The next day we're just trying to wake up. So that's pretty much the whole thing. This is me just trying to do all the things that I do with a little bit of humor. Yeah, I'll break down sometimes because you know what? That's human beings break down. We have good days, bad days. That doesn't mean you're broken. You know what I'm saying? It just means, you know, you need a little time. And sometimes you need a little bit more support. And sometimes it's hard to find it, but you can't stop looking for it.
Right. So women, and you touched on something really beautiful, and an ongoing situation when we talk about women facing obstacles, men too, but you know, we're seeing more and more women committing suicide or more vocal about depression. So women facing jet lag of life, burnout, and depression, how will Just Make It Happen help them?
I think, like for me, so I just came back from a conference, and my expectations when I went there was, I'm just going there to film with my mentor, and he's going to talk about his experience with me. But I have to still sit through this whole, you know, these speeches and stuff like that, which my mentor is David Cetera. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, wedding planner in the world. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking I'm going to a conference to hear wedding stuff.
Right.
Baby, that's no. I heard the stories of these successful business women and men who all came through trauma, who all came through stuff, but were still able to jump over those hurdles and succeed. And that's what, again, all I want to do with like each of these things. You're going to see me struggling with whatever, losing people in the middle of, you know, who held a lot in your position or whatever, and how I literally in real time have to make it through these hurdles. How I literally in real time have to clean the tub during the interview. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, those are the things that I hope inspire these women not to give up. I know it's hard. Like when I first came to New York, talk about giving up. Yes, suicidal moments. We'll talk about it. I came here with just my son. He was a little bit over 1. And I might have shared this story before, I'm not sure, the last interview, but I was ready to give up. And I went to New York and I had a cardboard sign and it said, I believe in American dream. I just want a job, not welfare. And that day I got 5 job offers and I took the one that paid the most. Now, was it the best job? I don't know. I had to work outside and promote Broadway shows. Now, for my personality, baby, promoting shows and being hyper and giving all that energy, perfect. In New York wintertime, not so much, y'all, not so much. But I had an objective at the time. I had to send my son to actually live with my mom for like 6 months. So every other weekend, I would go all the way back to New Hampshire, which is a 5-hour drive, if not longer in this traffic, and see him every other weekend. But I would work literally every day, like picking up shifts every day. If I'm not going home to see my son, I'm working. That's all I'm doing. So sometimes it's like being vulnerable, taking those moments. I didn't want to have to hold up a sign like a homeless person asking for work, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you have to be that vulnerable. Sometimes you have to put yourself in those moments. You know, sometimes I know as a woman, as a mother, there's this shit we have to do to feed our kids. So it's just like, know that even in those choices, never make those choices, you know, this is my life, this is my career, it stops here. Just always keep pushing towards your purpose and your dreams, not what you feel like you're forced to do in the moment. Because a lot of people, and I'm not even talking about a hustle or whatever, a lot of us are forced to work these 9 to 5s. Or let's just bring it back to this, because I was talking about this today. As Black people or as people, period, in the society, we're saying yes to the bag and all these bags and killing ourselves early. We're stressing ourselves out. We're not fulfilling our clients fully because we have so much on our plates. And I feel like that's something, a top behavior. Viola Davis said that, I believe, on an interview where we're taught to, I gotta leave a, what's the word there I'm looking for? Generational wealth. And we kill ourselves trying to create this generational wealth because no one ever taught us to just relax, just to live in the moment. And I see all of us running. Yes, go toward your objective, but I don't think we need to run to get there. Because I think when we're running to get there, we're burning ourselves the fuck out. And mind my language, sorry. We're burning ourselves out, and I'm seeing young people, like I literally just lost 2 central people at a young age. Like the dude that did my music, been doing my music in school, did my music. Like he was my motivation for my music, and I was about to stop doing music before I even started doing all of this, and I lost him. Like, who else is gonna be able to hear my sound the way I hear my sound? Bet. Last Friday, we lost our marketing guru manager for music, literally the day of my rollout. Like, oh, what the hell? All his knowledge gone with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these things happen. So it's like, what do? I keep pushing on, because guess what? I lost my father to police brutality. I did 5 years in prison. I've jumped so many hurdles already. I can't let anything that the devil or this, bad energy or the yin of the yang, because there's a lot of good in my life. I'm mighty blessed. But it goes back to, I believe, life is a lot easier. You do not have to kill yourself if you're stepping in your purpose.
Okay.
You don't have to pick up every bag if you really stepping in your purpose. Because on another note, I'm also a personal assistant to Raz B. I get to hear the conversations with Ray J and all this Hollywood shit. Sorry, mind my language again. But I say it because I see how Hollywood has damaged us. Mm-hmm. And we say, fighting for the culture. And I'm in my mind, what's the culture?
Right. Wow.
What's the culture? What am I sitting here fighting for? The bag, the hoes, the strippers, like, what am I sitting here fighting for? Why are these our idols? And trust me, I love our brothers and our kings, and that's why I'm their assistant, because I believe God put me in people's life for a reason as well, to assist, because I'm not scared to speak whatever truth is on my heart. But as these Black men who we grew up loving, who are now our idols, that we look at like, yo, mentally, what's the matter? And society sees that as a reality, not as people who have been victimized by Hollywood. And when I'm stepping out on my truth and my purpose, I'm not chasing Hollywood. I'm not chasing that bag, because I already see what the cost is. No, you can't get that from me. You can't get that from me. All I can do is love me the best way I can love me. It's not about how society is going to define Jestina. Because when I was focused on that, I didn't know how to control it, because I had no control of it. It led me exactly where the system wanted it to lead me. The school to prison pipeline. They knew once they killed my father, I wouldn't be able to control those emotions, because the community didn't have the tools to control those emotions.
Right.
The community didn't have the tools for my mother to control the emotions of losing a father, 2 kids prior, a daughter now in jail. Our community did not have those tools, nor do still have the tools for parents to use them properly within the time span within a day to apply in a household.
Right.
So what culture are we fighting for when we're talking about culture? A Hollywood culture that's made up of metaverses that we can't keep up with? I'm going to just end it there, because clearly, woo!
That's okay. Just trying to make it.
That's it. We just trying to make it.
Trying to make it. So, and this is, I have 2 more questions, or maybe 2.5. What did you go to prison for? And how did do you think that was the basis for your purpose that led you to now?
I mean, we all know God has a plan. So I was dating. I was selling drugs. I'm not gonna say he was the reason I was selling drugs. All right, I'm gonna run the tab and then answer this question. So by the time I was 18, again, no tools, I didn't know how to express myself. So I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Tell us a different narrative there. I don't know. But I fell in love. I was selling drugs because I ran away by 15. And I was just trying to take care of myself. So I ended up selling drugs. And after about a year and a half being with this man, we finally all got caught up, federal charges, selling a conspiracy charge to sell crack cocaine in 3 different states. So I was looking at a life sentence in prison, 10 years to life in prison. So I got the minimum, taking them to trial. Because, and it's not like I was trying to be stubborn, like, hold on 1 second before the tub overs. Jerome, can you take a break? Watch the tub while I finish this interview, please. I know, I need you to take, thank you. Children. Thank you. I don't want the tub to overrun. You're the best in the world. So, yeah, sorry. I got 5 years, and the reason why I didn't take the plea deal or whatever, because, you know, I was selling drugs. I'm not gonna lie, I was selling drugs. I was trying to eat. Was because the lies they wanted me to tell about, you know, how it all started going down and all that. Because at one point they had me, all my co-defendants, like by the time they were like, oh yeah, if you you're the last one, everyone took a plea deal, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. So I'm like, okay, everybody pled out, I guess. Like, I'm ready to go home. I already been sitting in here for like a year. But they made the mistake and took me and my co-defendant to sign the papers at the same day. So we were like, I thought you signed. And he's like, I thought you signed. So we were both like, they're a bunch of liars. Oh, hell no, we ain't signing nothing. We do whatever. But then even when they gave the paperwork, like, because they write out them statements. I don't know what happens when y'all went to federal and how y'all's federal cases work, but I know when they wanted me to testify, the statement was already written up.
Oh, wow.
That part. The statement was already written up, and baby, the way they wrote it up, it wasn't the truth. And my man at the time, now my ex, they, you know, did give him a life sentence, but I was just like, you give him life sentence for, we ain't hold nobody, a gun to nobody's head to do whatever they were doing. We were just out here trying to eat. Like I said, I was like 18, like I've been already taking care of myself since I was 15. So that was kind of my hustle. Like, life is hard, you know, bills ain't cheap. So I had to do what I had to do, but that's what I went to jail for in a nutshell.
And that's what led you to your now.
Excuse me?
I said, and that's what led you to your now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned a lot from being in prison, meaning after I got out, I understood the money and the human trafficking that's legal in the system. And the reason why, and I say this to the next statement, why there's no really rehabilitation or why people continue to go in and out is because that's what the system wants. Because every time a single person goes back into the jail, their stock goes up. We are all a stock. So right now, to the feds, I'm worth billions of dollars off one of charge that I did 5 years on. Because when my bail was set, it was set at $500,000 or $1 million. So they were able to use that money, create a bonds with my social security number, and then sell that bonds however many times it's already been sold. But then the bond goes up in value every time I get in trouble. So for me, that was just motivation not to give these motherfuckers more money. Sorry for the
period. Pooh. Okay.
Is that right? Like, period. I like, baby, you wait. Like, matter of fact, can I get a check? Because I'm still out here kind of struggling. Like, I'll do good things with it. I got after school programs, all that. Like, baby, if I can get a little bit of the coin that I'm now worth to this country and all these other Black innocent. And what makes me sick now, and I think, you know, when we say, did this put you into your now? Probably, because when I think about all the innocent people, like I did time and I was guilty and time was hard. So I have a gentleman right now, like Brian Wells, who like I try to be a voice for out here because he's an innocent man in jail and his paperwork is just as messy as my daddy's. Baby, innocent, just making money for the country.
Right.
Just make them in there, just a stock of bonds for the state.
And that's how they do.
So it's disgusting. So yeah, I mean, God does everything for a reason. I mean, I'm glad that I gave in to his reason because I think fighting it would only continue to make my life probably hard. And I mean, fighting it in a way of not understanding myself better.
And now you do.
For sure.
So, with Jess trying to make it, and this is my last question, where can viewers watch you, stay up to date with it? What is your audience, your intended audience?
So my intended audience, so I will say probably like 18 up, but like if you're a dope parent who does like already let your kid watch ratchet YouTube videos, you know, then I would probably say let them watch. I only say it because I'm a cannabis user. It is my medicine. Like I don't take pharmaceutical prescription because I don't like to say mental illness. I say mental abilities. Like this is just my mental ability to handle most shit. Sorry again on the language. But so cannabis is my medicine, and so I don't like recommend for like younger children because there probably might be, I'm not trying to saturate my show with me smoking, like it won't be a lot of it, but you might be like, is that a blunt? Like, please no, yes it is. It's medicine time, and I was rolling on a good topic and we're just gonna keep going with it, but every hour on the hour like but I would say 18 up, or just maybe adolescents, 13, that you already feel have been exposed to certain stuff and need or watch it together with them so you can show them, you see what choices led her to her hurdles, so let's try to avoid some of these hurdles in your life. So because I feel like we're all going to go through things, we're all going to have choices to make. It's how you make those choices, and society is quick to label us from our trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like my mental abilities now, when I talk to a therapist, are stemmed from the trauma laid on me from my uncle raping me for 15 years, or my cousins touching me for however many years. Again, losing my father to police brutality. I lost a brother to cancer, another one to gun violence. So I will not let society's definition of mental illness define who I am and where I go, because in that it puts you in a different mindset as well of self-doubt, because that's all they trained us about trauma and mental health. If you're labeled with some type of mental illness, if you identify with any of your multiple personalities, which most of us have, then there's something wrong with you. Well, with my show, which you can find it on YouTube, unless the network wants to pick it up, but I'll follow my manager's lead and let us blow up on YouTube, and you can pay us for season 2. But you can find us on YouTube. To type it in easily and find us, you'll probably want to type in Jess and then TTMI on all the social media platforms. But, we just launched, like I said, we did just lose our marketing guru, who was like doing so much for us, like probably wore way many hats than I did. Condolences to his family, especially to his kids. I know what it's like growing up without a dad, but that's where you can find me. And again, I'm trying to keep humor and good vibes in all of it. You guys can kind of see my energy on camera here. We already got a little teaser trailer out on YouTube. So just, be patient with us, because, we're jumping over this hurdle, but we're jumping in like slow motion right now. So bear with us on that note.
Do you have an Instagram? And that's my absolute last question.
Yeah, so the Instagram too. So it's just TTMI. So JESTTMI. You can find me on Instagram.
Okay, we got action. So thank you so much, and best of luck with everything.